ASTRA starts gearing up for its initial testing campaign, CU sounding rockets and USC RPL go at it for the highest launch this year, High-End and Yellow Jacket Space Program both continue with their rocket testing, and finally, what the heck is a Tribrid Rocket? This is your amateur rocketry news. First we start with ASTRA, which is a student group in Bremen, Germany, which I'm a part of. We're planning to do some pressure testing and recovery testing in the coming months, so we're getting ready for that. Transcendence is the vehicle that ASTRA is planning to build in order to get to the Karman Line. But first, we need to test out how our systems work. The first test that we want to do is a pressure test of the oxidizer tank. And this is going to verify that our tank design is actually appropriate for the function that we want to put it through. Over the last 2 months, we've procured the materials that we need in order to build the CFRP tube, which include the carbon fiber and all of the accessories that come with that. The plan is to start winding this tube sometime in May, so stay tuned. We've also completed the aluminum bulkhead design, and that's planning to be milled sometime in the next month as well. But pressure testing isn't the only test that we're planning to do. We also want to do some tests on the recovery system. The biggest mechanical danger of any recovery system is the shock that the parachutes will exert on the payload. So we're planning to test how our structure responds to these shocks that we expect with the deployments of the parachute with this new contraption. Basically, it's a frame which is able to support the dropping of a weight from about 3 meters. The way it operates, it kind of looks like a guillotine. So let's see if our recovery package is able to withstand its chopping power. We plan to do a full video of the test and the aftermath, so stay tuned to see the results. Up next, we have a battle for the highest flying student rocket of 2022. We're just in the first half of the year and the race is already heating up. On April 3rd, CU Sounding Rockets was able to take their Obsidian vehicle to the launch stand. Obsidian is powered by a solid Cesaroni 03400 motor, and this is serving as a subscale to their ultimate ambition, which is to get to the Karman Line. So how did Obsidian fare? They had a flawless launch, reaching an altitude of 9,800 meters. And they also were able to deploy their parachute and bring it all safely back down to the ground. So good job to the Obsidian team, and they were briefly able to hold the title of the highest flying rocket of 2022. That is until Jawbone came on the scene. Jawbone is a vehicle developed by the USC Rocket Propulsion Lab. If you follow our channel, you probably have heard a lot about them because they're quite active in the amateur rocketry community. On April 23rd, they were able to take Jawbone out to the launch rail and have a successful launch. Overall, they were able to reach an altitude of 12.6 kilometers and hit a top speed of 1.7 times the speed of sound. And as of the filming of this video, this stands as the highest flying student rocket of 2022. However, it wasn't the fastest. Obsidian was actually able to hit a higher speed at just over Mach 2. So that just goes to show you that just because you have the fastest vehicle doesn't mean it's going to go the highest. It's great to see USC RPL come up with a success, especially after their string of failures with the Earthshaker test stand. Over the last year, they were experimenting with the motor of their full-scale vehicle, Dome Piercer. But unfortunately, they haven't been able to get that working just yet. Of course, USC RPL also has the record for the highest flying student rocket of all time, but they're planning to surpass that pretty soon with their Dome Piercer rocket. So we hope that the Jawbone success can carry them forward into a successful Dome Piercer launch as well. Coming back to Germany, there's a group called High-End that's gearing up for a launch this year as well. Their hybrid rocket called Highlight has been going through a litany of tests over the past 6 months, culminating in a test that they did on March 10th, in which they were able to get a full 25-second burn. And it's also really impressive how stable that burn was. They were able to come up to 10.6 kilonewtons and basically hold that for the entire 25 seconds. Ultimately, Highlight will be powering their North rocket, which is planned to launch in the fall of this year. And they're going for the European altitude record, so stay tuned to see if they can break it. They also hold the European altitude record, so they're also going for their own record, kind of like USC RPL. Another group that was doing some engine testing in the past months was Yellow Jacket Space Program. They're another group that's planning to shoot for the Karman Line over the next couple of years. What's interesting about this test is that they were testing a bang-bang pressurization system. And what does that mean? Well, Yellow Jacket Space Program is experimenting with a liquid engine, which is using kerosene and liquid oxygen in order to power its rocket. And in order to get the kerosene and liquid oxygen into the combustion chamber, they're using a pressurization system. And one way to control the liquid oxygen and kerosene that's going into the combustion chamber is to rapidly control the valves that are letting in those fluids. Usually, in order to simplify these types of systems, amateurs just turn the valve on and basically let Mother Nature take care of the rest. But Yellow Jacket Space Program wants a little bit more control than that. So they've designed a system in which they are controlling the valves that are letting the fuel and the oxidizer into the combustion chamber. They have a really cool algorithm which is able to actuate these valves at a really high speed, fast enough that they can actually control the combustion pressure inside of the combustion chamber. So really impressive stuff. When you look at their pressure and thrust curve, you can actually see the actuation of the valves in the stepping that you see throughout the burn. Really cool stuff. And just a little thing to mention, this is actually the first Bang Bang pressurization system that has been attempted by a student group. So kudos. Finally, we have Martin Mason and Dave Griffith, who are part of the Mount Sac rocket team, who have actually been experimenting with what's called a Tribrid rocket. So what the heck is that? We've heard of liquid, solid, and hybrid, but what is a Tribrid? How are there three things here? This is a little bit weird. So basically how this works is they have a fuel grain, just like a hybrid, but they actually have an oxidizer and a fuel as well, both in liquid form. So it's kind of a combination of a liquid and a hybrid. At the start of the burn, the rocket will kind of function like a hybrid rocket, with the oxidizer flowing into the combustion chamber with the fuel grain and igniting and creating thrust. What differentiates the Tribrid system is that the heat of the combustion reaction will actually melt the connection to the fuel. And so when most of the fuel grain is totally gone, this connection will fail and the fuel will start flowing into the combustion chamber, and then it kind of starts functioning like a liquid engine. So it's kind of like a half hybrid, half liquid. I'm not really sure why this would be beneficial, but really cool they were able to pull this off. I guess one advantage is that they can get some pretty high thrusts to start by utilizing this hybrid start instead of just having a liquid start all the way. I guess we have to add another type of rocket to the conventional solid, liquid, and hybrid, featuring the Tribrid. There's been lots of action in the amateur community over the last couple of months, so if we've missed something exciting and you want to let us know, be sure to leave it in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to give a like to help with the algorithm. And remember, keep expanding your horizons.